Not all real estate agents are built to help families relocate to Northern Virginia. Hi, I'm Carey from the Carey Collective, and we here at the Carey Collective specialize in relocation. And today, I want to talk to you about how hiring an agent that does not have experience in relocation could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Have you heard of this thing called earnest money deposit? An earnest money deposit is the money that buyers send to the title company or settlement agent after they get an offer accepted. In Northern Virginia, we see this to be anywhere from 2 to 5% of the sales price. So if you're talking about, let's say, $1 million home, and you write on it an earnest money deposit of $30,000. Let's say that it wasn't super competitive. Maybe you were up against a couple other offers, and you had to write an earnest money deposit that gave the sellers some motivation and realized that you have skin in the game. And so you made it $30,000. Now, in that same scenario, let's say you've waived all of your contingencies, because if a house is competitive, that does tend to happen here in Northern Virginia. I am constantly writing offers for clients without contingencies, sometimes not even an HOA review period, no home inspection, no appraisal contingency, and no financing contingency. And so what that means is your earnest money deposit is on the line. And I am telling you that I am speaking from experience to know it is super important for buyers to understand the risk that can happen to your earnest money deposit if you back out of the contract. So if you default on the contract without contingencies in place, or maybe you just can't make it to close. So something happens with your financing, or you wrote an offer that you genuinely can't qualify for, and therefore you can't get the commitment letter from your lender. Or stay with me, I'm going to go over this. Your power of attorney doesn't arrive in time for closing. Why in the world would you need a power of attorney for closing? Well, let me tell you a little story. I help families relocate from overseas to Northern Virginia all the time. And something that other agents don't know is you have to get a power of attorney signed for that closing if you're not going to be here and physically present for the closing at all. Or maybe one of you is going to be here and the other one's not going to be here, or neither of you are going to be present for closing whatsoever. You have to get a power of attorney assigned, and it has to be back in Northern Virginia in the lender's hands with a wet signature, which means the original copy has to be there. So there's a few moving parts you have to think of. Ready? Step one, you have to have a title company that is ready to get that power of attorney immediately. They have to help draw it up, because the way the steps work in Northern Virginia is you go under contract, you have your lender a part of it, you have listing agent, buyer's agent, plus the title company. And the title company has to make a property specific power of attorney. They have to know the full legal name of the person or persons that are going to sign for you. And they have to make that immediately when you go under contract, because it then has to go to the lender for approval. If that doesn't happen quickly, but you have a short closing timeline, guess what? Your earnest money's at risk. And we're talking about a $30,000 earnest money. Do you want to lose that earnest money because your agent didn't know that they have to get on the title company to make that power of attorney? They didn't know the lender has to approve it. It has to get to you. You have to go sign somewhere overseas. A lot of times it's at the consulate or an embassy overseas. And then you have to physically mail it back. And depending on where you are, believe me, mail doesn't always happen quick in all parts of the country to get back to the United States. This is something that is super, super important, because if you don't get it and you need to delay your closing, what if you have a seller that isn't willing to accept that? Or what if it's going to be another 2 weeks before that gets back because your title company didn't do it right away? And the way the timing works, every domino just fell, not in your favor. So I'm telling you this because you need a real estate agent that knows those things are important and that helps get ahead of them, and you're not the one that's telling them what to do. So we were talking about power of attorney. What are the steps? You go under contract, title company creates it, lender approves it, then it's sent to the client, and then they go to the embassy, let's say, they get it signed, they mail it back, and we have the wet signature. So that takes time. What if your real estate agent wrote in a clause that said, you're going to close in 10 days? Well, now you can't close in 10 days because you have this added step to everything, okay? That you want to make sure you buffer enough time that that paper could get back here to us in Northern Virginia. So you're not going to write it in this short amount of time. It's maybe not going to be a 10-day close, but listen, I've done it. I usually can get 18 days is what I try to do to be really, really safe just in case something happens. There's storms, mail's slow, like maybe you're somewhere that can't get here fast, right? You want to prepare all this in the original offer so nothing happens. You don't lose the house. You don't have to default. The seller doesn't take your earnest money or even worse, they could decide to sue you. So I don't say all of this to scare you, except I do want you to understand when you relocate to a new area, it is really important that you have an agent that knows what they're doing. It's not just write a contract, open doors, go to closing table. It is so much more than that. Another thing I want you to know about relocation agents that you should ask them is, if you're not here, how are they going to show you what it's like? Something that I do not do is FaceTime showings. Why in the world would I not do it? You're so excited. You want to go see the house. Get me on the phone. Show me the screen. It's impossible to show someone everything about the house on a FaceTime call. It's impossible to show them what it's like in the house. It's impossible to look for the imperfections, and it's impossible to show the entire neighborhood, the area around, all of this stuff. You can't do it on a FaceTime. And even more importantly, when my clients aren't here and they want to rewatch the videos, you can't rewatch a FaceTime. So the way I do it is I will set it up that I actually film every floor separately. And I do this for you. I do it so you can be like, wait a minute, let me go back. Let me look at this. And where will our couch go? How will we set up the TV? Which bedroom does that kid want? Which bedroom do they want? It makes such a difference for you to be able to experience the home as a whole and then be able to go back and reference it. It is not my job to convince you to buy a house. It should be no agent's job to convince you to buy a house. You should be looking for a home that is right for you and the right price and the right terms and the right setup specifically for you. And that takes a different strategy even in showing the videos of the house. And that's something important when you're not here, you can't do. So if someone doesn't do it all the time, they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to film the drive up. They don't know how to show all the different things around that are going to matter to you. Or maybe here's a big one that a lot of agents don't do. Just film the sound outside the front of the house, the back of the house. Is it noisy? Is there a highway? Is it close to a fire station? And you're going to hear the ambulance all the time, keeping you up at night. Those are so, so, so important. Okay, so we've talked about a few things, but I'm not done yet. Another thing that relocation agents don't always have experience in is talking about the long-term appreciation, rentability, and the investment piece of the house. When I sit down with clients that are relocating here, you have no idea what it's like to live in this area. You have no idea what the neighborhood's like. I'm going to partner you with other moms, parents, families, people that live in these areas that you can talk to have a real understanding of what it's like in the area. Because I could pick up one house, put it in Vienna, same house, pick it up and put it in Falls Church and in Arlington and in Leesburg, and they are 4 totally different experiences. And so it's so important that you feel supported in your relocation move, that you know that your agent is an advocate for helping you find the right place, not just the right house, but the right lifestyle, the right community. All of these things are so important when you don't live here and you have no experience with Northern Virginia. And that's what we do at the Carey Collective. So what have we talked about? Power of attorney, short closing timeline, neighborhood understanding, and future appreciation. And I say this because a lot of my clients that relocate here, they're not here for many years. They're not always here for a lifetime. They don't live here for 10 plus years, but they're here for 2 or 3 years at a time. Maybe they move again. Maybe they come back. You see a pattern in this. And so the conversation of like, what is this home really going to rent for? Do you expect to get that rent to cover the mortgage in the first few years? Usually the answer is no if you've not been in it too long. And so how big is that gap for you? How long can you carry that gap? What is the appreciation of an area over the last 10 years? And how can you use that to help benefit you so the next time you come back to Northern Virginia, Maybe you have more equity in that home and you can pull the cash out and you can move up to your next home, or you keep it as a rental and you buy your next home. So there's so many more conversations that happen with families that are relocating than just opening doors, than just getting an offer accepted. There is so much more. And I just want you to know the reason that I do relocation is because we've lived it. We've moved so many times. We've bought in Houston, we've bought in Arlington, we've bought in Vienna 2 times. Like, we have lived overseas, we've bought while living in a hotel room. We know we went from Arlington to Vienna, which felt like we were completely moving states. And now it was one of the greatest things that we've ever done. And we wouldn't have done it had one of my girlfriends said, just check it out. I think you'd like it. See what it is. It's a tight community. Those things can't happen unless you have the right people and the right support system supporting your move and having honest and authentic conversations. And that is what we're here for. So I know you're probably excited. You're moving to Northern Virginia. You're scared. You're unsure how your kids are going to transition. You don't know where you should land. You don't know what your spouse's commute is going to be like, because that's another factor too that you really want to consider. And so have a conversation. Reach out to me at the Carey Collective. You can text me 513-284-5396. You can email me Casi, C-A-S-I, at thecareycollective.com. You can visit thecareycollective.com, put in a little note about you, about your family. We can set up this consult that really is important to getting to know your family needs, your home budget, what you're looking for, what the lifestyle is, and what the experience is like buying when you're not here physically. It's not the same. Not all agents are built the same, and not everybody has lived it. And frankly, I have done hundreds of relocation transactions with clients and families, and I know what it's like. I know what is needed before it's needed. I help support that. And it's really important for you to save you tens of thousands of dollars. So do not make the mistake of just hiring anyone when you're relocating to Northern Virginia. Make sure you call me, just call Casi, and I will help support that move.